Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Ipshita Bansal from BPS Women's University, Sonipat. Today, we are going to discuss about the module Kinesics or Body Language under the paper Business Communication. By the end of this modules, you will be able to understand first what is kinesics and why it is important. Second, to know various postures, gestures, expressions and their significance. And third, learn how kinesics play a vital role in personal and professional life. Kinesics or body language is the expressive communication which results from various physical actions like changing postures, gestures, different facial expressions, and appearances. The role of kinesics is very important in non-verbal communication because sometimes it acts as a substitute to words or oral language, or sometimes it may accompany the words to make them more effective. It is truly said that actions speak louder than words. Thus, the body language can reflect the attitudes, feelings, emotions, confidence level, respect, happiness, nervousness, comfort, discomfort, friendliness, joy, and anger. Kinesics include facial expressions, posture, gestures, oculesics, appearance, and haptics. Let's discuss about facial expressions. The face is the most important aspect of body language. Changing facial expressions can change the person's personality, and it also has the influential impact on others. The smile on the face of your near one makes you feel happy, but the fierce look on their face will leave you with discomfort. This is the power of facial expressions, that it affects all those who are involved in conversation. Facial expressions are the strong medium to convey the emotions. It also helps in providing the information about the conversationalist thinking process. The face has the capability to construct eminent messages where the expressions convey the meaning of thoughts. Researchers estimate that the human face can display over 250,000 different expressions, although a few can control these emotions and maintain a poker face when they want to hide their feelings. Facial expressions can be divided among 5 broader descriptions. First is tranquil. This expression is the result of pleasure, calmness, relaxed frame of mind, peace of mind, satisfaction, etc. Second category is stressed. It may result due to fear, tension, overburden, disapproval, etc. The next category is being neutral. Neutral facial expression talk about thoughtfulness or attention. It also gives the sign of disinterest or lack of passion, and even reflects unbiased attitude, that is, not taking the side of any single person or party. Fourth category of facial expressions is being boosted. Boost is all about energy, amazement, anxiety, and attention. The boosted expression of boss also leads the employees to work more effectively. The fifth category is being droopy. It is the feeling of misery, sorrow, distress, and pain. Face also communicates feelings and thoughts more than any other means of expressions. For examples, I communicate the gladness or melancholy or even surprise. Smile, for instance, reveal kindliness, understanding, or cooperation. The eyebrows and forehead may show annoyance or rage, and therefore the overall face communicates various messages through thousands of different expressions. This is how the facial expressions speak a lot and convey the ideas, emotions, and thoughts to the receiver. Hence, the overall facial expression as a form of non-verbal communication is vital in human interaction. It is also important for receivers' perception of the sender. Here in this slide, we can see some of the many facial expressions that of fear, contempt, disgust, surprise, happiness, sadness, and anger. So from these faces, we can see that facial expressions can play a very important role in communicating one's feelings. So verbal words should always be corroborated with the right facial expressions. Let's understand about posture now. In each field of life, whatever it is, like in drama, in movies, in circus, in organizations and institutions, we find great presenters which make the audience laugh, cry, and even motivate to work better. The people are led away with the talks of these great presenters as they are different. They carry some unique attributes with them, and that is their posture. They never stand still at one place, rather, they keep moving and use open posture which influences the audience. It is vital to use the right posture while communicating. The posture includes head, hands, legs, back, and for the right posture, it is essential to make the body movements effective. Here we can see three different types of postures. First is an example of poor posture where the head is leaning forward, back is flat, and the person is generally bending. This is not a good posture. The third type is again a poor posture where the head is leaning forward, shoulders are rounded, back is swaying backwards, and the weak abdominal muscles are there, so the person is generally bending. Now we see the good posture where the person is standing upright, which is the balanced upright posture. This is the way which should be used. This posture is the way which should be used for standing to have a greater impact. To develop correct posture, self-assessment is required, which can be done by introspecting. Whenever a person is feeling low, it is vital to check the sitting standing position. This may facilitate in being aware of the posture. As soon as we stand straight, it leads to the high spirits and individuals are motivated to work more effectively. Correct posture of head and hands. Head. The position of head can provide you the confidence and even make you dull, showing lack of confidence. It is essential to know that how to use the head. While having a business meeting or delivering a presentation, it is significant to keep the head upright vertically. It boosts the confidence of the speaker and is of great aid in convincing people. If the position of head is looking down again and again to the floor, this will give an impression that the person is not self-confident. Tilting the head from left to right while listening to all other speakers is a good way of communication and giving non-verbal cues, as it gives the speaker the satisfaction that someone is listening and even it makes the discussions healthier. With respect to hands and arms, open hands and arms spread outside is a positive posture. If a person stands with closed arms, he or she will be called as not interested and will reveal the closed personality. Closed arms will show the defensive body posture. The closed body will reveal the closed attitude where people do not prefer to mix up with others. The arms should be open and spread outside, which reveals open body posture and considered ideal for business meetings. Correct posture of legs. It is said that legs can talk too, which is actually true. Legs move around a lot, especially in those situations when people are nervous, stressed, or even when they are lost in some thoughts. So it is essential to keep them in control and in a still position, particularly while facing an interview or in business meetings or discussions. So what should we do? We should put feet on the floor while stand on both the legs. That is, keep the feet on the floor as the body weight is balanced on both legs. Secondly, stand on feet, not on toes. Many people have been noticed that while delivering the speech, they turn their standing position again and again on toes, which depicts that they are unable to convey their message effectively and are searching for words or recalling the message. Do not shake the legs. Lots of time it has been observed that people keep on shaking their legs while they are sitting. It may happen if they are thinking something or else with different reasons. Shaking of legs not only distracts the speaker but also disturbs the person sitting near you. It is important to control the movement of legs. Next, crossing the legs. Cross legs for the long period of time will leave the person in uneasiness or discomfort, as due to crossed legs, the problem of backache can commence, which can lead to other physical problems. Besides this, while sitting in a group meeting, if a person crosses legs, he or she is likely to bend to one side, which depicts avoidance of those people who are sitting on the other side. Therefore, controlling the movement of legs is essential for being faultless in communicating non-verbally. In this slide, we see various standing positions. In the first picture, we see a lady with standing crossed legs as well as crossed hands. This is the defensive standing position, which is not a correct way to stand while talking to someone. The second picture, we see two gentlemen who are standing facing each other with crossed legs as well as crossed arms. This again is a closed body and closed attitude posture, which shows that both the parties are defensive and perhaps do not trust each other. In the third picture, we see two gentlemen standing face to face talking to each other. We see the open posture here with arms being spread outside in front. This is the open body and open attitude posture. This shows amicability and trust between the two talking parties. So, what is the correct posture of back? As part of body posture, back plays a vital role in communicating non-verbally. If the back is bent down or slumped, it reflects the low motivational levels and low confidence. But if the back is straight and upright, it shows high energy and confidence. The position of back also speaks a lot more. While leaning the back forward during communication, it shows the openness and interest in the speaker. On the other hand, leaning the back away from the speaker shows disinterest and casual attitude. In the pictures below, we see two types of postures. One is the correct posture and another is the incorrect posture. So in the first picture, we see a lady sitting on a computer table with a slumped posture. Through picture, we can see that she is perhaps lacking in confidence or is in low spirits or perhaps even very casual about her work and appearance. In the second picture, we see a lady sitting with an upright posture. Her posture makes us believe that she is confident as in high spirits and she takes her appearance and her work very seriously. So we have to get our posture right so that we automatically start feeling and performing better. So let's understand what is the role of gestures in body language. Gestures are symbolized by moving the parts of body. They send some messages which can be specific or general. Gestures are also used voluntarily and sometimes spontaneously, which may be clear or not clear at certain times to the receiver of the message. These body gestures facilitate communication if used correctly, but if used not properly, then they may also be distracting. Different gestures are discussed in detail in the coming section. Let's understand what are emblematic gestures. Hand plays the role of symbols or emblem while depicting various things. The emblematic gestures communicate the specific message depending on the situation, which is generally known by the person who is receiver of the message. So first type of emblematic gesture is wave of a hand. While meeting someone, a friend, a colleague, in the morning, a wave of hand conveys the message of hello, and the same wave of hand in the evening while departing from workplace conveys the message of goodbye. At times, wave of hand may convey approval or disapproval. Second is using for signals. Signals can be used certain times. For example, if the employee enters the cabin of the boss and he or she is busy talking on phone, he or she may use emblem by moving the hand and signaling to employee to sit down. It may also be known as spontaneous gesture as the activity took place spontaneously when the employee entered. The next is symbolic gestures. Some hand movements are known as the gestures about which we are aware and consciously use the symbols by hands to communicate something, such as thumbs up, depicting best of luck, sign of V, which gives the feel that victory is yours, joining the hands together, showcasing welcome or a respect in Indian culture, that is also known as Namaste. Here we can see various symbolic gestures. First one is a closed fist, which is denoting the strength of unity. The second one is a V, facing the receiver of the message, denoting victory. The third one is V, with back of the hand facing the receiver, denoting the number 2. The fifth is the whole hand with joined fingers, again denoting strength in unity. The fifth one is a thumbs up sign stating that all is well. The next one is a closed fist with the back of the hand facing the speaker, which is a threatening symbol. Last one again is a thumbs up sign. So these symbols are used by the people to communicate non-verbally in the shortest possible span of time, which is generally understood by the receiver of the message. Unnatural gestures. These gestures are not natural and represent discomfort or lack of interest. The unnatural gestures convey unfavorable and negative image of a person. For example, touching one's body parts again and again, like rubbing the nose, settling the hairs, or playing with the objects like clothes, pen, etc. all are the unnatural gestures and need to be avoided. Gestures can be clear or unclear. When the hands or other body parts are used rightly, it conveys the clear message, or else the message is distorted as the gestures are unclear. Ramanand Singh says that there is no correct gesture for any given situation. But one of the keys to using good gesture is the appearance of spontaneity and naturalness. In other words, gesture should be performed without nervousness. Now let's understand about oculesics. The manner in which eyes are used during conversation is known as oculesics. It includes eye movements such as eye contact or escaping from eye contact. It conveys various feelings of happiness, sadness, surprise, etc. Eye contact is direct and impactful form of body language. People generally maintain proper eye contact during communication. The superior can maintain the eye contact for a longer duration in comparison to the lower level worker. Eye contact plays the crucial role in group discussions and interviews. It is essential to maintain the proper eye contact at business meetings and in other formal discussions, as it gives more credibility to the message and develop trust of the audience in the speaker. Eye contact is an important way of communicating non-verbally. Eyes depict our feelings, our attitude, sometimes even our intentions. So, using one's eyes for communicating effectively should be practiced and implemented. Eye behavior can be divided into different categories. First, gaze. Gaze is individuals' looking behavior, as stated by Ramanand Singh. The way an individual looks at others or at various things during communicating or sending the message is gaze. Second, mutual gaze. This behavior of eye contact is used during interpersonal communication when two or more than two people interact with each other. As they are communicating with each other, they look at each other in a mutual understanding. We call it a mutual gaze. This is used at the time of group discussions, meetings, etc. Third type of eye behavior is monitoring eye contact. Monitoring again plays different roles. On one hand, it keeps check on the individuals, and on the other hand, it shows the care and concern. For example, at the time of examination, it is the duty of invigilator to keep the check on students. Therefore, the invigilator monitors the student and check that all the students are doing their own work without using the unethical practices. At the same time, he or she is also concerned for students and makes sure that everybody is in a comfortable situation while performing the examination. Monitoring also has another role to play. For instance, a mother while performing household works also monitor again and again the activities of her small kids so that the little one do not harm himself or herself. Supervisor in a business organization context also has this role to play through monitoring eye contact, supervising whether people are doing their job well, and also showing concern that everybody has all the facilities and the tools which are required to do the work in an effective manner. The fourth type of eye behavior is regulatory eye contact. Regulatory eye behavior is that in which the person keeps on looking at another person repeatedly due to the hesitation of putting his or her point. For instance, the employee requires a leave, and if he has the notion in mind that the boss will not permit him to go, he may be hesitant in putting his demand. But this kind of eye contact will lead to further communication when the boss may ask the employee if he wants to say something. Thus, regulatory eye contact in various situations ends with a conversation. These are the signals to facilitate that communication may take place. Haptics consist of using touch as a means of communication. It is an important form of body language. Touch can convey many factors such as feelings of care, concern, respect, love, appreciation, support, etc. Patting the back. When the boss pats the back of an employee, the employee feels appreciated and is motivated to work harder in future. Here, the pat is more powerful in comparison to many words of appreciation. Just by this touch, the employee feels recognized and satisfied. Shaking hands. Shaking hands is also an important part of haptics and is used frequently. When people meet, they generally shake the hands. A proper handshake reveals that the people are glad to meet and are interested in talking to each other. Handshake should be firm and not be loose, which conveys low spirits, disinterest, or lack in confidence level. And also, it should also not be bone crushing, which presses the hand too tightly and creates discomfort for the other person. Now let's just talk about haptics, which is used for showing respect and concern. Touching feet. It is a social approach. In the Indian culture, it is very much prevalent almost in every community that the younger persons touch the feet of their elder ones. This touch is a symbol of respect which we show for our elders, and in return, we get their blessings when they touch our heads. It shows the respect by the younger and concern by the elder. Next is hugging, an approach of friendship and warmth. Hug is again a powerful source of touch, mostly used in intimate relations. It gives the feeling of love and concern. This also conveys a feeling that someone is always there for your care. So, students, let us now understand the importance of appearance in communication. Physical appearance is an imperative part of body language. It is said that the appearance of the person makes the first impression in the mind of the viewer. The people who look attractive are considered to be more successful and persuasive in their careers. At the same time, individuals who are not properly dressed up and carry poor clothing styles are considered unsuccessful. Clothing, shoes, hairstyles, and other accessories which individuals wear matter a lot, as it talks a lot about the individuals before the person himself herself starts speaking. It also reflects their job, personalities, lifestyles, and even values. Therefore, it is essential to pay attention on good grooming. Clothes, hairstyles, hygiene, polished shoes, clean nails, etc. It is important to invest in good professional looking clothes and accessories and avoid the strong perfumes and too much makeup. It is the key point to be comfortable in whatever the attire one carries. Mukherjee gave a list for the proper appearance of individuals in the organization, which comes after this. Let's now consider what is the proper appearance of men in organizations. Mustache. or beard. Preferably, men should be clean shaven at workplace. Nails should be trimmed and clean. Shirt, if possible, should be light colored and of full sleeves. Should complement the trousers. If the shirt is light, choose dark trousers. Suit, preferably a jacket. Match the jacket with the color of trouser and shirt. Tie, wear a tie with collar buttons closed. Should be formal looking and the tie must reach the belt. Belt, belt shoes matching with the colors of trousers. Avoid extra large buckles in the belt. Socks, bright socks should be avoided. If wearing black trousers, avoid white socks. Match the socks with the color of trousers. Shoes, shoes should be matching the color of trousers. Need to avoid sports shoes in formal occasions. Before wearing, clean and polish the shoes. In this slide, we see three pictures. First one is a man with a beard and a mustache, which perhaps is not to be done at the workplace. Second one is a man who's clean shaven, which is absolutely all right in the workplace. And the third picture is generally a clean shaven face with a small beard, which perhaps is acceptable in the workplace. All these things also depend upon the culture of the country or the society or community in which one is working. Now let us consider proper appearance of women in organizations. Hair should be well tied up and should not come in front of eyes. Ensure that there are no traces of dandruff. Nails should be well trimmed and clean. Shirt should be appropriate in size, neither too loose nor too tight. Sari should be well pleated, clean and ironed. Needs to be simple and formal looking, not too catchy and bright in colors. Jewelry should be kept at minimum. It should not be extravagant or flashy. Shoes should complement the dress and need to be comfortable. Makeup should not be extreme. Mild makeup or touch-up will work. Till now, it is very much clear that kinesics are very crucial in non-verbal communication, and therefore it is important to make effective use of it in each part of life, which may be personal or professional. Some vital points related to kinesics using effectively are discussed. So, to cap up, we should understand how to use kinesics or body language effectively. First is mind the body chat. In our day-to-day communication, we should carefully notice details about the way we speak. Standing position should be upright. Actions of body should be smooth and fluid, as the stiff posture shows rigidity. But frequent and fidgety action should be avoided. One should carefully identify small things like not playing with the lock of hairs or a pen, not shaking or jiggling the feet as it gives the impression of being uninterested. Such behavior or body language curbs the power of words and speech. Therefore, we must mind our actions. Second, be very careful with handshake. Handshake conveys the message of power and concern. It is the important part of communication or greeting when people meet first time. Remember that with proper handshake, it is important to check that the hands are clean and dry while shaking them. Third, establishing the eye contact. Eye contact should be made in the best possible way. Proper eye contact forms the impression on others. Eye contact is specially used in interviews, group discussions, etc. Austin has stated that you must acquire the ability to sustain direct eye contact. if you want to be taken seriously. But my advice is that don't stare. Then, fourth, be yourself. One must relax by avoiding all tensions and be what we are, instead of imitating others or pretending to be what we are not. The people who are self-aware and self-confident work in a more relaxed manner and enjoy the task. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. Body language includes facial expressions, posture, eye contact, and language of touch and the appearance of individuals. These all are important aspects of non-verbal communication and needs to be worked at positively. Facial expression of an individual speaks a lot and impacts others too. If a person is happy and wears a smile on his face, he may also make others smile. The right posture can have an impact on all other people watching you, just like an artist on screen who makes thousands of people laugh and cry with him or her by effective actions. The proper eye contact is also essential to influence the listeners and is very crucial at the time of interviews and group discussions. Touch shows the feeling of respect, love, appreciation, etc., and convey our thoughts and emotion. Inappropriate touch is not good to be used at workplace. Appearance is important in building positive first impressions. It is even said that if your appearance is good, then half of the battle is won. Therefore, using all these aspects of body language effectively are likely to lead individuals towards the ladder of success. Thank you.